I'm Malcolm Van Delston. This is an excerpt from Do the Wrong Thing, a book series or extra long novel that opens with a woman trying to kill herself. She says, I don't know why I tried to do this. By way of explanation, tells her life story. We are in book 2. Previously in Do the Wrong Thing, Ava moved to a new house and made a few friends. Whoa, I did this last week. Previously in Do the Wrong Thing, Ava talked about poetry, got a job showing films for classes, and drank too much, which culminated in her and John being kicked out of their home. I've got some edits to the poetry, Catch-22, and drunken sex scenes. Thanks for the suggestions from last week. How are these pieces now? And then I'll continue with the next chapter, which currently is called Van Gogh, though I'm still debating on whether I'm going to just get rid of chapter headings. If you have any more comments about that, let me know. Questions I'll put at the end. So, A/B test for the poet thing. So, poets, A. Tennyson, Dylan, Thomas, Bukowski. These are the poets I like. I mostly absorb rhythm when I read. Poetry makes no sense anyway. My eyes listen. Shit. I hear, not when I'm reading poetry, but in general, bits of melodies that I can never place and nonsense lyrics in my head. With poets like Tennyson, Thomas, and Bukowski, I turn the rhythm and sound of their words into songs, or they're my friends. That's all. Telling me, yeah, my life has been shitty too. Jesus, they're my friends. I'm an idiot. Poets can talk about crappy feelings like depression and anger and their own failings, for example, without making the reader want to close the book and walk away. Good poets, anyway. When I'm reading, which is almost always when I'm not working, conversations, radio's playing, basically other people communicating to other people, upset me because they interrupt my conversations, the ones I'm having with the poets or whatever. Fuck, I make no sense. I'm imperious, imposing, and exacting. I know that, but I keep it to myself and stew. Currently, I'm hanging around with Samuel Beckett. Poets, B. Tennyson, Dylan Thomas, Bukowski. These are the poets I like. I mostly absorb rhythm when I read. Poetry makes no sense anyway. My eyes listen. Shit. I've always been noise sensitive, and I don't think I recognized it as music until right this second. Bits of melodies that I can never place in nonsense lyrics in my head. With poets like Tennyson, Thomas, and Bukowski, I turn the rhythm and sound of the words into songs, or they're my friends. That's all. Telling me, yeah, my life has been shitty too. Fuck. They're my friends. I'm an idiot. But all poets, musicians, writers, artists can describe crappy feelings like depression and anger and their own failings, for example, without making people want to walk away. Good artists, anyway. Rhythm and music, they make bitter medicine palatable, though who's the medicine for? Writer or reader? I'm almost always reading when I'm not working, and conversations, radio's playing, basically other people communicating to other people upset me because they interrupt my conversations, the ones I'm having with the poets or whatever. I'm imperious, imposing, and exacting. I know that, but I keep it to myself and stew. Currently, my friend is Samuel Beckett. On and on. This is the rewrite of the Catch-22 part. If you showed Catch-22 to an actual English class, everyone would sit silent and morose, busily examining the film, trying to find some clever angle, metaphor for modern life, or something they could write about. They wouldn't holler and laugh at Major, 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 or at Dreidel's girlfriend crossing her thighs to make the soldiers go mad. But the students in English for engineers do. I smile and wind the second spool onto the projector. There'll be no more moaning in this outfit. I forgot that art entertains. This job is way better than rare books. Canadian Club revision. That's the drunken sex scene. Note that I've added an introduction to Amanda 2 chapters back when Ava describes her new home. And Ava now says at the end of that piece, I avoid the landlady, her brittle, mirthless sarcasm, and her friend Amanda, who lives next door. He opens the front door and runs outside. I follow. He launches the bottle into the street. I watch it arc, spraying a rainbow of amber liquid, the drops moving from the mouth outwards. It's pretty. Crash! The bottle smashes against the icy road, sending shards of glass, sleet, and whiskey in all directions. I catch a flicker of movement in Amanda's curtains next door. John starts to cry. You whore! My landlady screams across the phone from Florida. How dare you use my home for fornication? I trusted you. Wait, what are you talking about? I say, head pounding. I'm rarely up at 7:30, let alone on the phone with a hangover. Don't you dare try that with me, she screams. Amanda saw everything. I want you out by the time I get back. I want you both out. Van Gogh. I'm quiet and studious, I tell the young couple renting out a furnished room. They look at each other and smile. Okay, says the fragile looking wife. They'd specified graduate student in their posting. My new place is 2 blocks from campus in a large attic. I use a bathroom on the second floor and the kitchen on the main one, though keep my food in a fridge in the basement. I eat late at night when the couple sleeps. In my narrow iron bed, I lie awake, staring at the ceiling sloping towards me, feeling the mattress bulge down the length of my spine below. I feel like Van Gogh. Can you turn it down, please? The librarian says, exasperated. Sorry, I mumble, turning down John Lee Hooker. I forgot where I was, who I was, why I was, and that headphones bleed. Most of the library's music is classical. Of that, I like the 20th century stuff, tones and notes standing starkly alone, dissonant to those around them. There's a few popular artists, like the Beatles, of course, the Rolling Stones, Roxy Music, some jazz and blues. The art floor is one up. There, I can study color, theory, and perspective, look at pictures. Clay is my favorite. I've got him in front of me now. Picasso, Miro, and Chagall. I can look at pictures for hours. Shh, shh, shh. There's a bunch of flat plastic pieces that turn around a spool inside the clock radio beside my bed. When a number changes, a flap flips over. But something is keeping the pieces from turning around the spool smoothly, so you hear them scrape against the impediment before breaking free and smacking down on the one below. Shh. The thick carpet absorbs most of the sound as I heave the clock against the floor again and again, then stomp on smaller pieces, then pick up smaller and smaller bits, twisting and breaking, until the floor around my bed is littered with plastic and metal. I feel great. It wasn't the clock that was keeping me up, though I did hate the fact that it's electric, has a tinny speaker and prison yard type alarm, and oh yeah, the shh it makes to mark off each second. The dismembered device surrounds my bed for a couple weeks, though I replace it the next day with a small $5 battery powered one. I still have that replacement clock. It started audibly ticking off seconds about 10 years ago, but that doesn't bother me. I wear earplugs to sleep anyway now. Its alarm is a cheerful beep, 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 beep. It doesn't need anything except a AA battery that lasts a literal decade. Addendum 2 years later. That clock is still on my bedside table, but the battery door doesn't stay on anymore, and there's a chunk missing in the yellowed plastic exterior due to a move and a couple falls in my newest apartment. The hands don't line up properly, so 2 o'clock looks like 1. It's probably an easy thing to fix. Nothing in my life has been as physically close to me for as long as this battered old clock. A broken down dollar store appliance. The most loyal, not the right word. The most steadfast thing in my life. I'll stop there. The chapter goes on.